Well, good evening, everybody. Nope, we're not in a map yet. We're just kind of in limbo. Hope everybody's doing all right. According to my chat, looks like I have Keith in 5 Gen Farms. And Keith is just lurking, but welcome. Hopefully everybody's starting to dig out of the deep freeze a little bit. Oh, finally got my pickup started yesterday. Hell of a time to find out the frost plug heater don't work on it. So, yesterday afternoon, today, it started snowing again today, but it ain't near as cold. It's 26 degrees out. And yesterday morning, it was the coldest it had gotten as far as ambient temperature. It was 19.3 below. And Monday was cold all day long. So, been pretty cold last 5 days. A little bit of snow this evening, kind of cloudy, supposed to clear off, get a little chilly again tonight. Tomorrow, some more kind of cloudy, snowy crap, and then tomorrow night back down to like 8 below, and by next week we're supposed to be back into the 40s and the teens for night lows in the night evenings. So we're hopefully out of this, about to get out of this deep freeze. I have to laugh at everybody bitching about it, but I mean, God for fucking bid, it get cold and act like winter to the middle of fucking January, right? I mean, holy shit, what do we expect? So anyhow, I guess it is what it is. It's not going to be a real exciting stream tonight. I was supposed to stream last night, or actually Monday night. My normal stream nights are what have been Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Well, I don't know if I'm going to keep to that schedule or not, which is obvious. I kind of last week when I did the Tuesday Thursday thing, and then was going to do a Saturday stream, except for I had that goofball issue with the better contracts. I got that figured out. But anyhow, we'll I don't know what we're gonna do for sure tonight. I've been farting around some different maps, trying to decide what to do for single player. I should be playing on the server tonight, but none of Tyler hasn't gotten on there for a couple weeks almost now, and I haven't seen Morris for a week, so I don't know what's going on with Morris. I haven't been able to talk to him because my phone's out of minutes until I get paid Monday. Gotta love working and living from paycheck to paycheck and inflation being as shitty as it is. So anyway, I don't think I'm going to do any more on the server tonight. There's more to do. I mean, as far as I got some fall tillage to do, I started on that before, even though I got off the stream the other night at 8 or whatever, but I stayed on the server and was farting around on there and started doing some fall tillage on it. So I don't know what we're gonna do here tonight. I got some odds and ends. I think we get some more people in here. I might actually show the Medicine Creek, the 16x Medicine Creek map I was talking about that's not complete, and show you why I like it. I think for now we're gonna load into North Dakota here. Kind of farted around on here the other night looking at it. Got a new guy interested in playing with this, Matt, on the server, which would be awesome. I did get contact with him again, but I didn't, I haven't told him yay or nay or anything just yet, just because I haven't had a chance to talk to Morris about it at all. Anyway, so, and I know, like I said, I didn't start a stream Monday night because it was colder than hell, and I didn't feel like doing shit. And then, I was just one of them weird moods where I wanted to play something, but yet I didn't want to play something. If that makes any sense. So I didn't even. I ended up watching some odds off and on YouTube stuff all day. Some yes, some farm sim stuff. And I see Kadurk's starting to put out some content again, so I watched a little bit of his today. Got kind of caught up with him, and one of the guys that used to do a lot of 19 content, which hasn't done hardly any 17 or any 22 content, is Kerbo. I always kind of enjoyed watching his stuff. He's got one of them soothing, deeper voices that he's just kind of a nice feller to watch. And I like watching his channel because he plays a lot of different stuff. I mean, a lot. And a lot of some of the stuff I have interested in playing, anywhere from Icarus. I've been played Icarus there last spring, this winter quite a bit. And I haven't actually touched it since February, but I keep updating the damn thing. He's been playing. He's big into railroad simulator games, and I don't mind him. I got a couple. I started playing the Railroader one that was released on Steam the 15th of December. It's okay. Something different. And I do like my first-person shooters, but my problem with that is I prefer the World War II genre when it comes to first-person shooters. And a lot of the newer shit's all modern warfare type stuff, which I have played some modern warfare. Some friends of mine, multiplayer here lately. Yeah, I guess I haven't played that since August, but played that a little bit. I used to like to play ATS. I haven't played ATS since. It's gotta be. It's over 2 years. I know. I'm pretty sure I haven't played ATS for 2 years. And I kicked it on the other day because I seen that they actually added even though it's the end game one, they actually added the anniversary 100th anniversary version of the KW, the W900, which is pretty cool. So I started farting around on it one day for about half an hour, and it didn't take me very long to decide, well, I'm done with this until I can dedicate some time to it and really want to get into it again. Because since I hadn't played it for 2 years, all the mods that I can't play any game that's got mods for it without playing without mods. Even Icarus, there's mods for it, so I play mods on it too. And then I play ATS with mods, because let's face it, Creech and Bomb does a way better job with sound files than fucking SCS ever dreamed of doing with any of their in-game sounds. So I am so out of date on my mods for that and trailers. I did a lot of trailers. I didn't do too many semi per se mods because they started that pay for mod bullshit that's going on in here now, but they really started it then in order to get, you wanted Viper. Yeah, he's got a public version of his Peterbilt, and if you really wanted good stuff, you ended up having to pay for it. And I kind of went no, and we're not talking. It's even worse than the whole Patreon thing for $15 a fucking month. It's some of them mods, they wanted $100 goddamn dollars for just the fucking mod. And they swear to God that they'd keep you once you paid for it. That's all you had to do was pay for it once, and then the continued development was for free. Well, there's been a couple of them that you paid $100 for a couple of years ago that no longer aren't modding anymore. So, that's kind of why I kind of fizzled out of the whole ATS thing, and then of course them guys taking for fucking ever to get their goddamn states out on the stupid thing. Well, anyway, so I don't know what we're gonna do tonight. Right now we're not necessarily playing, but we're on Spring Creek, which is a 12 kilometer by 12 kilometer map, which is the biggest map that I know that has been released publicly. I do believe, well, I guess I can't say that, because PMC's got some maps out there that are actually bigger than this, but his maps aren't true maps. His are, I don't know what you call them. They're a map, yes, and they will work. You can play on them, but they're not. They don't have a bunch of sell points, and there ain't a one of them that have all of the fields numbered in them, and they're just an overlay thing, and they're huge. There's a couple of them, and there's a couple of them that are pretty cool, but it's like, man, it'd take you forever to. But that's beside the point. But as far as true maps that are out there, as of right now, that are public that I know about is this the biggest ones out there, or this one right here, this Spring Creek 12 kilometer by 12 kilometer, which makes it, according to the way he advertises it, 36 times map, but that don't make sense to me because, a 16x map is an 8 kilometer by 8 kilometer, right? So 8 times 8 is, or 8 by 8 is 16, right? Isn't that how you figure the 16 times when it's the, a 1 times map that's a standard size map is 1x by 1x. A 4 times map is 2x by 2x. Am I correct? I don't know. So to me, a 12x by 12x should be a 24 times map. I don't know. I get that all messed up sometimes. Because I'm sure a 16 times map is an 8x by 8x. Correct? And a 4 times map is a 2 by 2. I think that's how that works. Kilometer by kilometer. Anyway, a 1 times map is 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. And a 4x is 2 kilometer by 2 kilometer. And an 8x would be 4 kilometer by 4 kilometer. I believe. And so a 16x map, like the one we play on the server now, Huron, and I do believe there's 2 names for it. It's called either Morris or Regina, Canada. Then you look at the icon for it, it's Morris. So, and I actually kind of like that map. And it never did get taken. It got released, and I think it got released about the same time that DJ or DR or whatever his name is, it just released Tahitian. Isn't that who did Green Valley, Nebraska, or was that Camille? Either way, it got released about the same time that Green Valley did, and everybody was just all hot fired about Green Valley, so it kind of got shadowed out. And I've played a little bit on it single player, and it's a big enough map. It's not the greatest map for single player per se, and nor is this map by any means. But I've been dabbling with the idea in my mind that, and what this map here is Spring Creek is, it's also part of North Dakota map that was released as a 16x map. And the North Dakota part of the map, if you can follow I don't know, is it any easier to follow it if it's in green? I don't know. But the North Dakota map, it's the 16x part, kind of goes along up here. And I think it goes over to here and down. Yeah, because these fields are in it. It might go like this, actually. I think it goes down across here. I know it's got this big lake in it. I think it just goes to the north of it. So you can see you're like 1 square around the 1.5 squares around the outside of this center is pretty much the addition of what Spring Creek is. It's the same topical area, just added. The nice thing about Spring Creek as opposed to the North Dakota map is they added alfalfa, you have rye, you have millet, which there isn't a whole lot of difference truly between millet and sorghum. They're of the same family. They added carrots and onion, and I don't know why the fuck they did that for a North Dakota base map. So, I mean, I'm sure that there's plenty of farm wives out there that out in their garden they've been raising onions and carrots because I know we do here, but in our gardens. And actually, when I was living in the sand hills, you could raise some damn good carrots and onions because the ground is sandy, you know. So the carrots that grow in, you can grow some pretty good onions and carrots. So you didn't have the resistance. You could grow some pretty good potatoes in your garden too if you took the time. And there used to be a lot of potatoes growing here where I live now. There's still quite a bit north of here around the Alliance area, and then down by the Bridgeport area, there's some there too, because there's some sandier soils down there. There again, your sandier soils don't get as hard per se, so root crops like that grow better. And there's still a lot of sugar beets grow here too. But anyway, one of the things I do like about this map is it has some added crops. Not that I disagree with the in-game ones, but sometimes it's nice to add some stuff that's not, sugarcane, damn sure olives and grapes. One of the things I wish they'd have done when they did do this map, when they added the other stuff, they'd have taken these out because they can do that now. It's not hard. Whether you to completely take it out of the map or you just delete it in the XML file so it don't show up. So anyway, I've been having some thoughts about maybe adding a second save to the server, because you can do that. You can run multiple maps on a server and have one server and run all the same mods that you run on one save and then just change the map on the other save, if that makes sense. So what you do is you just, in your server, you deactivate the one map save mod, or deactivate the file and activate the other map. And then you bring up the second save, because you can have more than one save. So that has been a thought that I've been kind of kicking around, which there again I need to discuss with Morris, but I haven't seen Morris. Something about which, Huron's a straightforward map, works fine, and there's plenty of room for 4 or 5 guys, on there. But this map, if it would work okay on the server, would be even that much more room, because you got, what do we got? 370, 1, 2, 3, 77, 380, 390. 390 fields on this, ranging anywhere from, and that's the only thing that sucks about bigger maps is it takes a while for stuff to load. But you got anywhere ranging, it's like here, 144 is a full section. Each one of these squares in this map represents a section, which is 640 acres. Most all maps are set up that way, even a 1 times map. You can have a section, which I think is about the whole map. Yeah, that's why. That's why I was thinking of kicking this idea around, Keith. I know you can do it. It's just you got to be on top of your game. It's not like where you can have to, if you have it running all the time, and you got people coming in all the time, you have to pretty much dedicate one map to the server. Where you do this, you got to be a little more coordinated to where you shut the server off, throw the other map up, turn the server back on with, change the save. You got to be a little more proactive on running the server as opposed to just letting the server run. But as I was getting at, each one of these squares, which this one, you can still see the square, which is, there's not a road there. There's a section line. In a lot of counties in the United States, especially here where I live, where it's bigger areas, most county roads run on a section line. Most. There's times they go goofy, like here, in here, which I don't know if that's a road, that's just an outer line of the deal, but, it changes because topography, you have a big goddamn bunch of, you don't have to, you can't go through a big canyon or that kind of crap. But most county roads run on a mile by mile square grid if they can, which makes sense. So anyway, what I was getting at here is like this here. It's not going to show my acres yet because you got to go. I know it's weird how Thunder's deal on a map. You have to go for one deal back and then you go back to it. Then it will show the acres. Usually, are you not going to show my acres? There it is. It's taking a while. Area. Come on. Area. Come on. Show it. There we go. So like this area here is a half section, which is 315 acres, which a section is 640 acres. Hey Jimmy, what's up? So anyway, like here, it's 300. Come on. There we go. 637. See, that's a section. So you buy that, but not every field in that is that much. See, you got different size fields. And then you have some parts of this map that when you hurry up and save, jump out of it, turn on your flight mode, and I have noticed this about other maps that they've used Google to make the map with. They don't, some people I don't think zoom in far enough on Google, and sometimes what is an actual field gets blurred out. And I'll show that too when I load up the Medicine Creek 16x map, which I really wish I could get with somebody that knows how to map a hell of a lot better than I do. Because I don't. I've dabbled in deleting buildings and shit like that, and got it to where I could do that. And then 22 rolled around, and I was doing that, and you'd zip up the goddamn file after deleting a building, and you didn't delete anything other than a damn static building and a pile of shit. Because I'm sorry, these days farmers don't have them piles of shit laying around their farms like they used to. EPA has cracked down on that shit. I mean, you have a little dinky pile here or there of scrap metal and stuff, but these huge piles of 15 fucking dead cars and an old combine sitting out there, I hate that when them guys think they got to put that crap in a map. Most farms don't have that shit anymore. They are cleaned up. Okay, we'll get back out of here, and I don't know if we... But one of the things I've noticed is and this map isn't as bad, but you bring up your map, I was screwing around the other day, and you can see how there's quite a bit on here that is actual pasture, and this map's not as bad. But I was really noticing it on Medicine Creek because even though they don't have any of the farm ground per se, here we put it on a small circle. This is when you can zoom in, and you can see here in the corner where the small map's at, and you can tell. Okay, yep, that's pretty much all going to be pasture ground. But every now and then there'll be a place where I don't think the map guy, and I was looking on just regular Photoshop viewer thing the other day too, zooming in, and you can see sometimes on some of these that it was probably more farm ground there than what they give it credit for. Like right here, yeah, I'm gonna guess that there's more this I can see right here, along this where the center of my circle's at. There's a slough right there. I can see that. But I'm going to guess some of this area in here. So, I don't know. I just think that sometimes when they use these, they don't zoom in close enough, and they don't make the farm ground exactly the same. And there's some places. I'll show that when we get into the North Dakota, or the Medicine Creek one. This one's not as bad. But there's some of them that when they make the farm grounds, you look at it and go, God damn, that thing doesn't look right. In this one, they did a pretty decent job of it. You're going to have a lot of these fields like this one down here. You know, evidently in North Dakota, they farm around every goddamn little bit that they can and a bunch of sloughs and shit. In this map, it's a map, and that's why that stuff's not field. Is because at one time there's a slough there, so and on the PDA for the year, they didn't farm around it. They farmed around it. So you can leave it that way, or that's the nice thing about the plow, where you can take it out if you want. And part of that is like here, and the guy that made these maps, which fuck, I can't remember the guy that made this map. He didn't put a ditch or anything in here. He didn't put any trees in here. Because if you look at the PDA, there isn't any trees. And I don't know if there is a true ditch or if there's or if it used to be an old tree line, which you got trees here, and you got trees that are dying out. Well, plow the shit shut. But anyway, what I'm getting at is like here, I'm standing in this map, this field. We are in field 19 or 20. This is 8. So there's 18, 19, and 20 in this area. And 20 is a 23-acre field, 21 is a 68-acre field, and 18, which I'm going to assume that one's probably 18, real close to it, possibly. It's 380 some acres. Anyhow, yeah, this is 19. 19 is supposed to be 85 acres. 20 is 23 acres. 21 is 68. So this one over here is the one that's 18 is the one that's 300 some acres. Anyway, my thought is I might throw this on the server if it doesn't have too many errors. And I think it's got some. But fucking Huron's got some also. So it might be one of them deals where. But what I like about this map as opposed to Huron is it's got more rolling topography to it. You know, look, I'm standing here and I cannot see over that hill. Huron's got some hills, but you can usually see over them. You can see from one edge of the map to the other. This one you can't. And of course, this is where I'm kind of thinking about building my farm, start my farm build here, I think, as opposed to one of the pre-made ones. Another one of the things about this map is there's a lot, and I mean a lot of areas. If you wanted to build a farm, you can. And this version of the map, as opposed to the North Dakota map, very few of the building sites actually are built. This one's got some stuff on it, which I'm not sure if that's a true farm site, but you know, like this one here, if you look, yep, he's got a shed, but that's it. You can do a hell of a lot with that one. Most of them, and this over here is a sell point. But on the other side of it, you could make a small farm here if you wanted. That's why you got a bunch of these areas with roads that don't have anything in them. So this map might actually get put on the server as a second save play thing. See, like here's a spot where in the original release of North Dakota map, part of it, there's a farm here. And it's got building and stuff in it. This version of Spring Creek, there's two versions of Spring Creek. This one doesn't have the farm built there. So you can still use this for the farm side if you want. I had an old single player save that this is where I had my farm site, was here. And when you start down over here, and there is buildings in small. It's actually started. So who we all got in here? We got Jimmy, and we did 5th Gen Farms. God, this guy's crazy. I ain't gonna watch this guy. Because I'm not sure. I've seen 5th Gen Farms in here before. If I have, maybe. I'm trying to remember. But it's got some highways on it. The nice thing about this one is it does have an auto drive. I downloaded the auto drive for it. You know, I think this is a sell point thing. But when you start, where the hell is that start point? I think it's over here somewhere. So there's a few farm sites on here that have all the buildings on them. A few. But there's a lot of them that are empty, don't have anything on them. You know, like here. Here's another one empty, doesn't have a farm on it. If you wanted to build a farm there, you could. But if you wanted, you know, you buy this grass over here, there ain't no fields. Yep, it's kind of rough, but you can smooth it out and you can build a hell of a farm site there. And part of what I was thinking with this is you got some of these, you know, some of the newer mods that have come out where you got the open grazing pasture thing. You got some big spots out there. You could lay them in. This isn't where you start, is it? Actually, maybe this is where you start. I think this is the starting farm, I think. So it has some buildings. I think this is the starting farm. I don't remember. If you're to start in first person start. You like to lurk and play while watching. Well, that's fine. I don't care. It's just welcome to the stream. I mean, I don't mind people lurking other than every now and then. Now, this is where you start. Yep, this is the starting farm. Because I sold the house off. Yep, this is where you start. Marvelous is where you start. Yep, this is the starting farm. I sold the house off to make sure you could sell it. And you can sell stuff. Come on. There we go. See, there's a water trough here. You click on it and you can sell it. Not that I'm big on these all-in-one things, buying stations, but it's there, which I guess on a big-ass map like this, it might be okay, so you ain't got to clear the town for every little thing, but either way, you can sell buildings off. So if you don't like what is on there, and I'm not sure about some of them other pre-made ones. Some of them other farm site per se, not necessarily more of a. You can sell this shit if you wanted to have a farm here. You could sell it and make your own. Yeah, I have no problem people watching and lurking. Just like I was finished saying, like here's another spot that probably you could make a heck of a cute little farmstead in here. And if you look at the PDA, there was a farm site here, which, you know, one thing that sucks about here is you're down in here in the corner, and if you got to go do something over there, you got a long ways to go. But anyway, this does come with auto drive. I did download the auto drive for it. It's not as complete and quite as nice as the Huron auto drive is, because it doesn't. None of the fields have stuff around, the courses around the edge of the field like how Huron does. Here's another spot, probably if you wanted to build a farm site, you could. That'd be kind of a nice little farm site, actually. Come down in here and build you a house in here around the trees. Although they're kind of a small house, but either way. You know, and like I said, even though some of these fields look goofy, and it's because you look at the PDA, there's a lot of places on this area in North Dakota, which I'm not sure where it was actually modeled after 100%. But you can see there's sloughs and tree lines and all kinds of crap where they farmed right up around the shit. But like this field here, it's a pretty goofy field, looking shaped field. You could fix it. You could straighten it out. You know, make it bigger. You could take all this crap off the edge down here, no problem. You can plow up the field edge. Because as far as the map itself goes in the game, there's nothing here stopping you. You know. But you could square it up. So some of these fields like this one here, what is this field here? This is, it says field 302, 303. What field is this? A field number somewhere in here in the middle. 300. What is 300? Come on. Get switched over field info. Okay, you're being stupid there. Why are you doing that? Huh, okay. 300, 177 acres. You squared that squared that end up down there, and even over here. If you didn't want to put a farm in here, that's a sell point. But you could, I'll guarantee you could get it to 200 and some acres probably. Anyhow, I don't know what we're gonna do for sure. We're just kind of fucking around tonight. Because I said I don't want to play on the server tonight because I don't want to get too much farther caught up ahead of the other guys that haven't played for a couple weeks that need to get on and play, especially my cousin. I finished doing all of Morris's contracts for him that he was working on. I don't think. And he'd bought some ground. He was just doing fall tillage on his grounds, all he was doing. But there's a good possibility this map will get put on a server as one of the maps we play on once in a while. Might be one of them deals where I got, what's the guy's name? Matt. Matt. Mopar Matt is his Discord name. But he did do what I asked. He actually sent me a message on my Discord saying, hey, I'd like to play more than just I would like to play in my live stream chat. He actually reached out to me. As far as audio goes, everything hear me fine. I'm not muted, not doing something stupid. Oh, looky there. My uncle's playing Star Citizen, so that means that as soon as Tyler gets home from work today, he'll probably be playing Star Citizen instead of playing Farm Sim like he needs to do. Anyhow, neither here nor there. But I got him, and so far that's the only person because I ain't had enough people coming into my streams to say at the right times or whatever. I had that William twice begging me to play, and I've told him both times, all you got to do is give me a little background and message me on my Discord so we can make a decision. I have a feeling he's a younger kid, which I don't care. Younger kids can play on our server also. They need to be mature enough not to be. I do shy away a little bit from the younger kids because those are the ones that everybody knows what I'm talking about. If anybody's experienced playing on servers, they're the ones that whine about stuff a little bit more. They're the ones that you'll be playing and out of nowhere you'll have a pickup come ramming into the side of your combine or tractor or whatever the hell you're doing because they think it's funny, you know. And I'm not saying that you can't have fun on a server doing that kind of stuff so once in a while, but that also needs to be designed fun that way. Not the when someone's trying to do something serious. I don't get that. That will not happen on our server. So anyway, what I'm getting at here is this probably will go up on the server, and we'll see how it works. Because for damn sure with this map, you got room to grow for sure. And got between room to grow, and you look over here at contracts, especially if you're running the better contracts mod, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. I probably didn't count a couple or miscounted, but that's just 37 or 38 fertilizing contracts. And I added the new forage mission to add forage to it, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. One of them pays 155,000, one pays 164,000, one pays 266,000 because you're forage harvesting 96 acres of corn on field 55. And then you got harvesting contracts right now because it's August. Something's wrong with the start and spring mod again. I'm not sure if it's a mod conflict or if it's the new version of the game. It's not working again. I've got to do some more investigation on that. But anyway, field 44, harvesting, what is it? Canola on one field 144, $204,000, and it's 202 acres. Field 71, $104,000, and you're doing canola on it also. It's 105 acres. Clear down to 8,000 for field 84 here, harvesting wheat on 8.74 acres. Any and everything in gamut when it comes to this particular thing. There's a liming contract because I added that to it also. Added that mod to our contract so you can do liming stuff. $22,000, get 15.56 acres, which that's probably God's planning because we all know how often when you're doing liming, when you're doing it yourself, how often you fucking fill the thing. And that's even after all of my liming particular pieces of equipment. I have edited them so they don't, there's a spray XML in there and it tells you usage. And you can edit that to where how much it uses. And one, in the XML line, one is a regular 1-to-1 ratio. Well, most of mine have been changed to 0.5 because it uses less of the lime. Is it as realistic? No. But when you're liming 100 and some acre field, you get really tired of the 15 bazillion goddamn loads of lime you gotta haul. Especially when giants have made liming such a big part of the fucking game that really isn't in real life. I've worked for the farm I worked on. It's the second time I've worked for the individual. First time I worked for him for 5 years. This time where I'm starting on my 7th year in February. So we're going on 12 years. And I was gone between the two times. I worked until 2010 and then came back in 2017. So I was 7 years because that's how long I was at the railroad, something like that. So we're going on, 20 years is for sure, pretty much. And that farm, 3,000 some acres, has never spread an ounce of lime. Farmers around us never spread lime. And lime is a pH thing. All you're doing with lime is you change the pH levels of your fields. That's all it is. And pHs will change some. I'm not saying that you don't have to lime once in a while, but not every other year like giants would like you to do. It's stupid. But you lime, you do the lime things. It is similar to putting on dry, solid fertilizer as far as how you do it. It's just you don't have to do it that often. And we don't. For some of the reason we don't is because of our water isn't, I don't mean acidic in the point of, yeah, you can't drink it. I'm just saying the pH of our water helps our soils keep the pH of the soils about where they need to be. You know, and anyway, so I'm sure there are some places where they have to lime more. I don't know if use more chicken manure, more turkey manure, or that kind of stuff makes a difference. But usually that's not a lime pH thing. That's a salt thing. You got to be careful with using manures because of how salty they can be. You don't want to get your soil too salty, then you can't do a fucking thing about it if you get it too salty. But anyway, so like here we got a plow. We only got 3 plowing contracts right now, but just because it's probably you're more into the harvest part of the calendar cycle. $147,000 contract for plowing. It's only 88 acres. So there's money to be made on this map when you're not farming. If you're just starting out buying one section, you can play the whole. Some people could probably play this map and not farm their own ground. They could just buy equipment, be custom farm, custom operators. I don't know how you want to call it, and just go around and do all the frickin' contracts. So spraying, here's a spraying one, $137,000 to spray 187 acre field. So there's money to be made on this map, and then we had this on the server, and I deactivated it on the server because it was throwing some Lua errors. I think we got a new version of this. I might try it. The nice thing about supply and transports, when you add that to your contracts or missions, whatever you want to call it, gives you something to do in the wintertime. Because most guys you can sleep just so much in the wintertime if you have any kind of livestock. You still have to take time to feed them. You still have to, so winter isn't just, sleep every day till you're through 3 months of winter. I haven't played on this map in single player to even through winter to know how bad the winters are, but North Dakota, you would think that they would. I mean, I don't know. It should be worse. Whether it is or not, I don't know. But anywho, so most likely, as of right now, I got to do more testing or whatever. This map will probably end up on the server as a secondary save and an option. And what I'm thinking about doing is waiting until we get the added guys that we've been wanting to add, and then all of us just start at the same time on the map, as opposed to like Huron County. Yeah, we're still going to add the guys to that map too, but that's not, and yeah, they're going to have to go find where they want to build their farm and start out. Probably what's going to happen there is when we all started on it, everybody got $5 million, and it was like, here you go. And I about screwed up because I ended up buying more ground, and you have that fine line with $5 million of buying ground, a few acres to start your farm on and build on, but yet you still have to have some equipment. So you can do that's where the leasing's nice, and we also place the lease to purchase mod where you can lease it and you purchase it. I'm not 100% sold on how Giants have the leasing thing. I've reached out and that's been a rant of mine also about Giants, how they do the leasing in the game. It's not right. They charge you 3 times when, in all reality, when you lease a piece of equipment, you pay. Every farmer can set it up different, but it's still most farmers set leasing up the same way they set up purchasing equipment, where they don't make a monthly payment. They usually make a payment once a year at a certain time of the year. Their fiscal year can be different. It's not necessarily January to January for the year. It works that way for taxes, but every business has a different fiscal year. So your fiscal year can be from April 1st to the end of March, or like the guy I work for, his fiscal year I think is October to the end of September to the 1st of October is his fiscal year. But anyway, what I'm getting at here is everybody can set their payments up different. Where Giants has a stupid thing set up to where they charge you three fucking times. They charge you an hourly thing, they charge you a monthly thing, and they charge you this upfront. I mean, it's stupid. Uh, you shouldn't be getting charged that often. So, 9 and 22, you about lose your ass by sometimes by leasing because it's not right. 19 wasn't as bad because they didn't charge as much, but they still have their leasing set up wrong. There's leasing equipment and there's renting equipment. Now you can go rent a piece of equipment by the day or by the hour, and you're done. You lease equipment, and there's no. When you rent equipment, you can rent it for 5 hours. You can rent it for 10 hours. You can rent it for 100 hours. Leasing's a little bit different. You lease it for 5 years. You figure out how many hours. I mean, and there's an hourly penalty that they still do with the whole hourly part of leasing, but it's different. It's not. You lease it and go, okay, I'm probably going to put 100 hours a year on that tractor. And when you lease it for 5 years or 3 years or whatever you want. Most people lease for 5 years or three, at least three. But anyway, you go, okay, so I'm going to use it for 3 years. I'm going to lease it, so that's 300 hours. And let's say I have 1 year where I use it 80 hours, and next year I use it 140 hours, and the 1 year I actually use it 80 or 100 hours. So you put in your lease agreement that you won't go over, let's just say, 350 hours. So you lease it by the year, and your hours you're not leasing it by the hours, but you don't want to go over your hours because then you get penalized at the end of your lease on how many hours you have. But anyway, you pay yearly. Most of them set it up on you pay one time a year, just like you would most of them do for an equipment purchase. You pay one time a year. You don't pay every month necessarily. So anyhow, that's one of the things I wish somebody would. And I'm not, and I don't know why. Probably because a lot of our modders aren't true farmers. Some of them are, but a lot of them aren't. I don't know why we don't have a mod a script mod that can fix our leasing so it's an actual true lease. It would make leasing a lot more pliable part of the game than what it is now. And yes, I lease now because it is still cheaper. If you have $100,000, you're in August starting out, it's still cheaper to pay $20,000 for 1 month lease, or even though it charges you per day, which here when you're playing per day is actually a week if you set your seasons up that way. But you can still get equipment so you can go harvest. So I about screwed up because I ended up buying more ground when I started on Huron, and next thing you know, I had like $200,000, didn't have much for equipment. Went, oh shit. So this is the second year. I think we started playing, and then I can't remember if we started playing right away with the start and spring mod. I think we started, and then we added the start and spring mod, so we kind of went backwards a little bit, and then that's when it was the first version of it, and everything was fucking grass, which drove us nuts. And it's still in the map that it still wants everything to be grass. Another reason why we might change to another map, and I like the start and spring mod because, sure, Giant sets it up so you start in August. I get it. And the reason why they do that is because you're pretty much right in the middle of harvest, so you can make money. And the problem with that is, even if you're running standard and you're not running precision farming, and like here, it hasn't been limed, hasn't been, you don't have any fertilizer on it. So your yields are going to be way down, especially if you're playing with precision farming. If you're playing when you're playing regular, it's not going to be as bad, but you're still going to be off. That's one of the things I like about the start and spring mod, as opposed to starting now, is you can plant whatever the hell you want on your ground, and instead of, well, this is what you get, because, well, even on here, there's these stupid goddamn things called sugar beets. And see this field over here, 383? That's sugar beets, which is pretty much 3/4 of the section, right? How many acres is 383 over here? I'm going the right way, right? Yeah, I need it pretty much straight over here, actually. And I don't know. I grew up around sugar beets as far as the actual farming of it, but who in the goddamn hell, on the way that they got sugar beets in this game, wants to fucking harvest? It's 383, ain't it? 407 acres. I mean, and I know there's plenty of people that got thousands of acres of beets or 1,000 acres of beets, but 400 some acres of beets, Jesus Christ, why would you want to harvest fucking? Ugh. Anyhow, you know, so if you start in spring, maybe you can get away. You know, if you wanted, you know, and a matter of fact, that spot's a spot where there's a farm spread. You know, you can build a farm there. There was one. Who the hell wants that? Buy that fucking thing with 300 some acres of beets on the goddamn thing in August. So that's when, you know what's nice about the easy dev control mod? That's when that some bitch comes in real handy. Because then you can just go, well, I don't want beets and that son of a bitch. What's over here? Sorghum. Sorghum, sorghum, sorghum. But anyway, so tonight's kind of a bland night because I ain't really doing much. We're just kind of yik-yakking and looking at maps and making a decision. Like I said, I really think this map's going to end up on our server, and hopefully it doesn't throw a lot of fits. The singles per save here has got a few mods in it that we don't have on the server. But for the most part, as far as the script mods, I play pretty much single player with the same buttons that we play on the server. About the only difference is I did take out the rotation planner mod because it was throwing a Lua problem on the server. On the server, we have invoices, which is nice because if you do something for somebody, you can send each other a bill and pay each other, you know, for doing stuff. Um, I don't, or what the hell's the sense of having invoices in single player? Because who am I going to send a bill to? Joe Blow down the road who won't pay it. I mean, you know, so there's certain things in a server you don't necessarily need in single player. Excuse me, in single player, and vice versa. There's certain things in single player that you're going to need that you won't need in multiplayer. But crop rotation in single player don't seem to be throwing as much of a problem. I don't, you know, Lua call stacks on servers are, man, you got to be careful with that, as Keith has already mentioned, you know, because how a server works as opposed to just your regular laptop or desktop computer. So you can have more Lua call stacks and not have quite as many problems in a single player and at work, where on a server it won't. So that's part of why we don't have the crop rotation thing. And all that does is and I don't know why it throws a Lua, because all it is it's a planner. You know, what it tells you is, okay, I have wheat in this field. Well, what do I want to plant in there? Well, traditionally you would fallow it years ago. Now they don't conventional tillage fallow. They Kim fallow a lot now, or they grow something in there the next year. So if I plant wheat right back into it, I don't get a 1-to-1. I get a penalty of 4/10 of a bushel. Barley, I get a tenth. You know, so if like here, if it was canola and you planted wheat's a good thing to plant after canola. You don't get a bonus, but you don't get a negative modifier. Oats, oats are good to plant behind wheat because you get a bonus of a 10%. Corn you can plant after wheat is 1-to-1. You don't get a negative modifier. Or sunflowers behind wheat and wheat behind sunflowers is not really that great, but if you had to, you wouldn't be a horrible ding on your yield. Soybeans, that's odd that soybeans behind wheat. Wheat behind soybeans is all right. About anything behind soybeans is okay except for soybeans. Potatoes, no. Sugar beets, eh. Sugar cane, which shouldn't even be on this fucking map. Cotton, which I don't really probably shouldn't be on this map, but man, you can make money with cotton. I love cotton. But yet I don't like any of the southern maps. I should be playing on a southern map planting cotton because you can make money on this game planting cotton. It's a moneymaker. Sorghum, trees, grass, carrots, onions. Really? Why didn't it have the peas? Why has it got carrot and onion, but it don't have peas? Because peas is a crop in here, and I'm assuming, and we have rye, and I like the field peas thing. I like that idea. Yes, you get into Montana and parts of North Dakota, I'm sure, and definitely in Canada, they've planted a lot more field peas. And there's a few of them, they've been kind of dabbling with a few of them around here. The wheat guys have been. It's a rotation. But I know some guys around here that raise a little bit of millet, and they call it millet hay. It's like oat hay, because millet's pretty forgiving. It don't take a lot of moisture. Rye, not hardly any rye around here raised. I don't know where exactly rye is. Sorghum, not so much here. Eastern Nebraska, some of the guys used to raise sorghum. We called it Milo, which is real similar. And I hated that sticky red shit. Every time a combine broke down, it was always in that shit. And you want to talk about, you think you think barley is itchy when you got to mess around with barley? Get into some fucking Milo. Holy shit, that stuff will eat you alive. But a lot of guys used to put it in their corners if they didn't actually irrigate their corners and their pivots and stuff back east. I'm not sure if they're still doing it or not. They and a few of those guys also were ones that had some cows because then they grazed the tops because the tops stay pretty green. A good friend of mine still lives out there. He's been running around picking up some corners like that and actually baling it. You know, makes good bedding. Some people are chopping it like corn stalks, adding it with distiller's grain, which is the byproduct of making ethanol from corn. Anyhow, that's one of the things I like about this map is it's got a few added things as far as crops. I've been kicking around the idea because some of the YouTube stuff I've watched, I don't think it's horribly hard to add a crop to a map. So uh, there might be this carrot and this onion might disappear before it gets put on the server, and I might take like and I don't think I have let me save game. We'll quit. I don't think I have Morris on here. I don't think I added it. But I know for sure Morris is also known as Red River, I think is another name for that map. I think. I don't think I put it on here. I'm sure I didn't. Spring Creek, Frog Creek, which I just ran into this the other day. This is a one-times map. Stone Valley, North Dakota Hastings, which is also the smaller part. This is the Hastings. This is what the original map of Spring Creek started out as. This came out before Spring Creek did. There, nope, I didn't add it. This Great Western Farms. I need to look at this map too. And I don't remember if this is a 4x map. I think this is a 4x map. Even though we got 2 people in here, let's see if I can get Medicine Creek to actually load as is. Let me actually go back. I think I deleted my Medicine Creek game that I had that I was farting around with. See here, this is the map, Red River, Manitoba. It's also known as Morris. I think it's a 16x map, but it's a good map. I think it'd be another. No, I don't. I was farting around with it yesterday. Let's see if we can get it to load, because sometimes it won't. I don't know if I should, because if it don't load, that means it'll. Every time I've had to fucking screw with it. Let's see if it loads. If not, my stream will end, and I'll have to start over, because you have to do every now and then. For some reason, it locks the son of a bitch up to where I can't. I got to do a hard restart. I hope not. We'll find out here quickly, because it does it fairly right away. But I think I figured out some of the mods that's screwing with it, so I don't know if I got them activated or not. We'll see. I think I fucked up. I think I screwed up here. What I should have done was just load the map and no mods. Because 30% is usually not where it stops. Nope. You about got to load this stupid thing without any mods at all. Figures. Yep. And now it probably won't quit. And what pisses me off about when Giants decides to fuck up, right? And you try to do the Control-Alt-Delete thing and get your task manager to come up so you can kill it from there. You can't bring your fucking task manager up because it stays on this fucking loading screen. Control-Alt-Delete, task manager. It loads it. It shows it in your bar at the bottom. But when you click on it to bring it up, you still have, it shows your overlay is there. So this is what I mean by when it decides to fuck up and you gotta restart everything. So I'm on it, but I can't go up to it. I've never figured out how to actually get into your task manager when Giants does this to get it so you can force it to stop. 90% of the time I fucked around and I fucked around. I don't know how many times I've messed with this and I can't get it to. It's like now, as long as I hold my mouse over it on my start menu, it's there. But as soon as I take my mouse off of it to try to click on the actual Giants engine to shut it off in the task manager, it disappears and goes back to the loading screen of the Giants. And when you click close window, close out of it. I should have known better than this. Come on, just fucking Giants.